Hello, everybody. Mr. Brown here. Today, I wanted to share some things with you that been going on. I have been very, very busy. A lot of schools. I'm speaking a lot of schools. Recently, I got a contract for 13 new schools to speak at, not to mention the schools I've been speaking at already, and been doing a lot of schools. When I go to schools, that means I'm doing assemblies. Sometimes that means one assembly. Sometimes that means four. I'm doing classroom visits, small group visits. I'm playing basketball with kids. I'm playing tetherball, playing foursquare, just hanging out with students, and really to make that connection with them, to help them understand that when you make better choices, you will live a better life. So choose well. Oh yeah, but it's a privilege of mine. But I want to ask you to continue to pray, help, sponsor, get involved somehow with these students. And often I struggle sometimes asking for help because I don't want it to be about me. And it's not about me. It's about being salt and light. It's about bringing hope to these students. A couple quick stories. Recently did a small group of students after my assembly. And during a small group, I got asked a question, Mr. Brown, what do you think about abortion? And so I gave my answer. And I told the student what I thought about abortion in front of this whole group of students. And, you know, my answer is quite different from what they hear everywhere else. And it's one of hope. It's one of people. And ultimately, I'm going to do a whole video on my podcast about my answer. But at the end of the day, my answer was I care about people. So sometimes we look at these subjects of abortion and homosexuality, transgender stuff, and they become issues. To me, they're people. There's people behind these issues. So I told this young lady, listen, I care about the woman who wants to have an abortion, whose life in the place where she had sex, and now however that took place, she feels like she needs to kill her baby or to abort her baby. Feel for the child that's being aborted. I feel for the people outside picking. I feel for the dad. I feel for the situation. That at the end of the day, these are people that have value that have been given them by God. So how do we approach this issue with compassion and caring? At the end of the day, I think abortion is wrong, but I'm not going to villainize or demonize the person who thinks that that's their only solution. I want to love them and hopefully help them to a better solution. And for those who had abortions, and even those who I've seen videos where people who are celebrating abortion, that they're going to abort their child, I feel for those people. So for me, it's not just an issue. These are people. And I've been called to love God and love people. I need to stand up for the unborn, but also stand up for the born, for the lost in those situations. So I want to ask you to help any way you can, whether that is promoting the Choose Well program on your Instagram, Facebook feed, whether that's financial supporting. You can sponsor a classroom. You can sponsor an actual assembly at a school. You can talk to administrators in schools about bringing the message in. Maybe you know a source of funding that can help bring this message in, because I love just being involved with the students' lives. Had another student, I was playing basketball with some students on the court. After we're done, she walked up and said, Mr. Brown, what do you feel about queer people? My answer was, I think they're people. I think I love people, and I look at them as people. And through our conversation, we had a deeper conversation. I said, let me ask you a question. You identify as queer. Is that the most important part of you? Is that the most important thing about you? She's 13 years old. So do you lead with that when you tell people those things? Because she feels like people, ostracize her or put her down because she identifies as queer. But I said, you got to be careful that you're not doing the same thing to other people who don't agree with you. So if I don't agree with whatever your view is on whatever topic, does that mean you get to put me down or call me names and say I'm this or I'm that? And it's a lot of phobic stuff. So if I disagree with you, then I have a phobia? No, we're people, and we need to respect each other. At the age of 13, that's not the most important part of you. So why are you leading with that? What are you really trying to accomplish? Because at the age of 13, you got a whole lot of stuff to deal with versus going around saying, this is what I identify as. And again, I'm not saying that she doesn't have that choice. She does, but it comes with result or outcomes of that. So I guess I love being on campus, helping these students think about their choices, because here's the deal. There's a lot of loud voices out there. Some of these loud voices we disagree with, but we got to be careful that we treat them as human beings, that we always remember their humanity. And our job is to love God and love people. But I love being on these campuses to be salt and light. So I've been very busy at schools with students, making videos for schools as well. Some of these schools use my videos in their SEL time, where they have discussion about life. And I get a lot of great feedback from students, from teachers too, who are watching these videos, and it's helping change their lives. So I just want to let you know what's going on. This is kind of like a proclaimed ministry update in a sense. I don't know. I just want to share some things with you. And I'll be making more videos about what's going on in my schools, telling my stories. And I'll end with this story. I made another video about it, and you might see this video too, but I'm going to tell you a story again because it was so impactful to me. I was at a school. I did an assembly. It went great. Hanging out with students. I was challenged to a basketball game. So I was going to go play this kid basketball, but I was hanging out in the cafeteria. And this kid walked up and said, hey, can I buy a shirt? So I went out to my truck to get an extra shirt, sell him a shirt. On my way back, I saw these two girls eating all by themselves outside. So I stopped, sat down with them, and they began to tell me how much they enjoyed the assembly. And I appreciate that, but I want to know details. What'd you take away? What'd you put in your invisible backpack? So I asked the question, what'd you put in your invisible backpack? And the girl said, Mr. Brown, you gave me hope because I have a lot of bad things in my life that has happened to me in my past. And she didn't want to go into detail about it. Later she did, but she just said, thank you. You gave me hope. I thought my life was over because of what happened to me. The other girl said the same thing. I said, what'd you take away? She said, I took away to respect myself. And I said, why was that important to you? She said, 'cause I haven't been respecting myself because of what happened to me. And she began to tell me her story, what happened to her. But now she understands, she respects herself, and that wasn't her choice that happened to her. But now she has a new vision of the choices she can make. Because of the trauma in her life, now she's been adopted into a new family. And I mentioned her adoption, the beautiful thing. I said, listen, you were adopted, you were chosen. My mom just got me. She just gave birth and here you go, all right? But you were chosen to be in this new family. Now, I don't think their life will be perfect from this point on, but hopefully they remember they have choice. They have hope, because when they make better choice, even though the situation they've been born into isn't the greatest, they can make the most of it and they can keep a focus of hope. Because listen, a lot of these kids don't have hope. And if you don't have hope, you're dying every single day. And so I was able to be a part of their story, and I would love to continue to be a part of the story. And you can be a part of the story too through your support. And honestly, praying for me and praying for these students. Next time you see a kid, maybe that kid looks a little different than you would dress. Maybe they got piercing, maybe they got tattoos, maybe they all dark clothes on. Instead of judging sometimes what we do, pray for that child. Pray for their situation. Pray for an opportunity, someone to reach them. Pray that you have an opportunity to reach them. Pray that I go to their school one day. And that's been the awesome thing about going to so many schools recently is everywhere I go around town, I see new kids who are excited to see me. I was in church, walking out of church, a little girl was like, just big eyes and pointing at me because she recognized me from her school. And so listen, when you support our ministry, support what we do, you're helping. When you pray, you're helping. So I just want to give a quick update, and I want to do better making more updates, but it's been a busy season right now. So thank you, and keep praying. And I really, 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 really appreciate the help.